Hey there, Pete here. How you doing? And welcome to my latest video. This is called How I Wrote My Latest Hit Song. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek because I don't have any hit songs, so how can this be my latest? But I'm putting this together because I want to kind of document really how I wrote a song. Not yet a hit song, hopefully someday it will be, but I'm documenting how I wrote a song. So I actually happened to have the cameras rolling one day when I did my initial, goofing around on the guitar, strum, 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 na 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 na. Hey, that sounds pretty good. I'll play the segment a bit later, but anyway, step by step, you got the song, the kernel of the song. You kind of figure out a couple of things. You figure out which chords those were that you're playing. You add some lyrics. You do a demo. You put the tracks together, you master it, and you release it as a video. I guess I'm going to walk through all those steps because those were all documented in a kind of a cool way. Let me just introduce myself a little bit. I'm a Canadian musician. I've been in a couple of bands out here in Singapore, starting with Superzar. I was the vocalist, so I became a de facto lyricist. Next up, I was and still am a member of Megalomania, where I'm still the vocalist, I'm still the lyricist, but I started writing a couple of songs, contributing those to the band. So there's a couple of songs out there from Megalomania that are both music and lyrics by Peter Halflet, so that's kind of a cool thing. During COVID, of course, and even before COVID, I was recording original songs. I've got a solo album out, and I've got a couple of sort of home studio projects out there too. A little bit of everything. Right, so I hadn't written a song for a pretty long time. So interesting thing was that last year I had the opportunity to join a trek out to Nepal. It's a volunteer mission to the flatlands, I guess, to the rural and more needy communities of Nepal, where they don't have great infrastructure. The schools aren't so great. So the NGO that we worked with identified a village where they had a kind of a crumbling schoolhouse that badly needed to be replaced. We went out there, we dug the foundations, we laid concrete, mixed and laid concrete by hand concrete, no concrete cement mixers or anything like that. We tied rebar, we worked with the villagers, we passed boulders around to throw into the pit. And there's a lot of sort of cultural exchange as well. We did homestays in the villages. We ate with the families, and it was a really pretty fantastic time. Part of the application process was to build a fundraiser. So my concept for a fundraiser was to teach a seminar, a 3-part seminar of songwriting, how to write a song. I taught the first session. My good friend Ryan taught the second session. And then I taught the third session, which was sort of like looking at how to use Bandcamp. But anyway, in the first session, I kind of got around to, explaining the various techniques for writing songs. There's so many different techniques for every songwriter. There's a new technique, of course. There's as many songwriting techniques as there are songwriters. There you go. That's it. So we had a look at how Paul McCartney wrote Get Back. I don't know if you've seen the Get Back Apple TV series documenting the Beatles, I guess in 1968 when they were putting together Abbey Road, but no, they were putting together Let It Be. So anyway, there's a moment in the studio when Paul, George, and Ringo are sitting around, nothing to do, waiting for John Lennon to show up. He's running late for whatever reason. And, Paul's strumming around on his guitar, and he's putting a couple of chords together, and they're sounding pretty good. And, he does a little bit of this, dun, 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 then he's like going, ba 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 ba, get back. So, within minutes, he's kind of putting together what eventually, pretty close to what, the final song was going to sound like. So that was pretty cool. So then I kind of demonstrated how, just anybody could do a similar thing on a guitar. I've written songs that way before. So I started doing a little bit of strum, 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 and I did it like a na 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 na, scatting away some placeholder, what would eventually sort of become the lyrics, the placeholder setting for words, and well, let's watch. Let's see how it went down. It's kind of like. Na 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 What do you think? That sounds okay. Yeah, so that was me in March 2025, strumming around, scatting a little bit, putting a new song together, the seeds of potentially a new song. At that point, I didn't know if I was going to really make use of it or not. But yeah, it's interesting to look back there about a year ago, a bit more than a year. I had bigger hair, bushier eyebrows, longer sideburns, goofing around on the guitar. So yeah, so I had that little nugget of a song, and like many times, sitting in my living room, I would do the same thing. I would kind of like turn on the iPhone voice memo and strum, scat, 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 da 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 da, blah blah blah, boo 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 boo. Put some lay down some musical idea. I'd revisit some of them and turn them into real songs, flesh them out, give them lyrics. Maybe I would give one of them to my band, let them, add their touch to the songs themselves, and it can become a band song, or I'll keep it for myself, or it's still sitting on my phone, waiting to be revisited. That can happen lots of times. So anyway, so I had this little nugget of a song, and I guess I had to figure out how to take it to the next step. So I kind of opened up the GarageBand, and I laid down some guitar. I tried out the vocals. First of all, of course, I had to work out what the chords were that would match a song that had those vocals, and the little bit of strum that I did. What were those chords? Anyway, so I gave that a shot. So let's listen to what that first version of what the song was going to be actually sounded like. Now this is what my first stab at turning that little fragment of a song into a real song looks like. I opened up my GarageBand and I picked a couple of guitar tracks, and I picked also a vocal track, and I gave it a whirl. So let's just listen to what that sounds like. Na 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 Well, not too inspired, I'd say. It doesn't really seem like it's going anywhere, and obviously I kind of abandoned this at this point because I didn't add any further tracks. I didn't expand it any further. I did kind of put together this weird cascade thing, so let's listen to what that sounds like. That's kind of, yeah, that could be something interesting. So this is what if this song had become a shoegaze song. So here you got your swirly guitars effects, and you can hardly figure out what the chords or progressions are, but it's fun. Yeah. So I nearly wrote a shoegaze song, but we'll find out soon enough which direction this song actually went. All right. The next step really was to think a little bit about the song structure. What kind of a song structure did I really want to have? Based on the little sort of fragment that I strum together, it sounded like I had a verse, I had a chorus. So do I want to do verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, and do I want to do verse, verse, chorus, verse, verse, chorus, verse, verse, chorus? Do I want to add a bridge? Based on the fragment itself, there was no material in there for a bridge, so I would have to write one if I wanted one. So who knows? I could have even done like some wacky intro, like yo yo yo, this is my next song, let's hear it. But that would have been kind of corny, and it sounded like the song was shaping out to be some kind of a folk or country song, so that wouldn't have been appropriate either. So I also had to think of, what's the song going to be about? Finally, I had to make some decisions. So, songs can be about really anything. It can be a corny love song. It can be, a song about a friend who died. It can be a song about a relative. It could be a memory of youth. It can be something, in the realm of science fiction. It can be based on literature, about a movie. It can be political. It can be about, a great meal. I decided to be a little tongue-in-cheek, so I said, well, I'm going to write a song about slow walkers, because I really love slow walkers. Being on the sidewalk, surrounded by slow walkers, yeah, okay, that's my everyday. So, cool, slow walkers. Make a statement about slow walkers. So, anyway, that leads us to the lyrics. So let's see how I approached lyric writing for the song Slow Walkers. This is how I approached my lyric writing initially. I came up with the title, Hey Slow Walker, and then I just transposed the na 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 from that original very first seed of a song, the scatting that I did, when I came up with that original set of chords. And it's just sort of na 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 na, and each na will represent a syllable of a word. So you got na 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 na, and then that becomes hey slow walker, and then I guess I just had to sort of roughly shoehorn some words into the range of those syllables that you've got. You can't make it too short, you can't make it too long. It's got to sort of roughly fit into that range of na syllables, however many they are, 20, 25, 22. And then, that'll work. And of course, you never get it right the first time. You keep writing, changing word order around, picking shorter words, picking longer words to make the melody fit into the phrase that you've got. So that's where it goes. So here you go. You got Hey Slow Walker, you got verse 1, you got verse 2, and you got the chorus. That's just sort of where I felt like I wanted to go. I wanted to go verse, chorus, and then, I could repeat that a couple of times. Maybe add a bridge. Let's see if a bridge will appear or not. A couple of weeks passed since that original na document. It's starting to fill out a little bit. I got my chords here, the A, E, and the D. Then I got my first verse. Hey, slow walker, where are you going now? Why are you walking so slow like a lazy cow? I got places to be, I got people to see. That's what's going on, that's what's going on. Now, eventually you hear the finished song, and these lyrics didn't say this way. They kind of changed a little bit. They evolved, they modified, and Then anyway, so we got our verse 1, we got our verse 2. You got no hurry now, you got no worries now, you're stuck in my path. I think that one, I think I kept that one. That one didn't change. So let's see, we got the chorus. Uh-oh, slow walker, you are Abnormal. Ooh, sting. All right, so then what do we got here? Walking through town, I'm going around from point A to B. Okay, so that's the bridge. That's new. So I kind of dreamed that up in the meantime. You know, when you got an unfinished project on your mind, sometimes your thoughts wander back to your project and you revisit those ideas, and there they are. And let's see. Oh yeah, okay. There's not much left. So this is still a pretty early stage of the songs. The development of the song carried on. I eventually wrote, I think, 3 verses. The bridge was, materialized, and then there's a 4th verse and a closer. Yeah, that's how the song evolved, what it grew into, and what I later put together as a demo. So that's what we're going to look at next. So by now my song had come together. I had a full set of lyrics. I knew what the structure was going to look like. I had my verses, choruses, and my bridge. I was able to play it on guitar, which I did actually at a company function. I kind of debuted my song on stage, just strumming away me and my guitar, and that's good enough. But of course, you want to lay it down and have it as a proper song, sounding professional with 1 or 2 guitar tracks, a bass, drum, a nice drum, and vocals with harmonies, and maybe double tracking or whatever it might be. So I can't do that stuff. I need a band to do that. So rather than go to my band, I actually went to my good friend Ryan Simonet. He'd been a partner as well in the songwriting sessions because he wrote the 2nd session. He's a brilliant musician, of course, in his own right. You might have heard of Cronkite Satellite. Ryan's the guy behind Cronkite Satellite. One-man band. He can play any instrument. He can play it well. He's got great sense and timing. So he was the man for the job. We've worked before together on other songs. So I said, "Hey Ryan, can you do the backing track of the song for me, please? You do this stuff all the time. You release an album a year, all done by yourself." So then he said, "Well, yeah, throw me a demo, and I'll see what I can do." And I said, "Well, I guess I need to put together a demo." So I put together a rough demo in GarageBand, very rough, very very rough. So anyway, let's have a look at what that turned out to be. Right. So this is what my demo looks like in GarageBand. I got at the yellow thing at the top there. That's my drums. That's a sort of an automated drum patch that comes with GarageBand. I had to fiddle around with it for quite a while to find the right sound that seems to be too busy, but that one's okay. I got 2 guitar tracks and a vocal track. No, I got 1 guitar track and 2 vocal tracks, and that's sort of my demo. It's the full-fledged song, but it doesn't sound very great. So I put that together over the course of a weekend. Let's, sort of give it a little listen right now. Where are you going? Why are you walking so slow? I got places to be, I got people to see. That's what's going on, that's what's going on. You got no hurry now, you got no worry now. You're stuck in my bed. Yeah, I got places to go, I got people to know. And you're blocking the flow. Slow walker. You are abnormal. Sleepyhead, crawling along now, Korean drama with your electric band. You got no plan, you're shuffling along just to shuffle along. Oh, Mr. Slow Walker, you're a path fucker and a bring stopper. You're a speed anchor, an oil tanker, and another word that rhymes with anchor. Oh, Slow Walker, you are So that's sort of how the song is. That's about half of it right there. And there's a little bit of harmony at the last section that we heard. Doesn't sound great, but Anyway, that's my attempt to evolve the song into, and to spice it up a little bit. Of course, it's got all the lyrics. Now it sort of needs some bells and whistles, and it also needs to sound good. I couldn't make it sound good, so this is what I shared with Ryan, and Ryan came back with a little bit of magic. Let's listen to that next. So this is what Ryan came up with. It's totally 100% amazing. Yeah, he's got all these tracks. It just kind of goes on and on endlessly down here. I don't even know what they're all for. And yeah, let's give it a listen. I took what Ryan had done and I added some vocal tracks on top of that, so we can listen to those as well. I think it's these two. Don't want to unmute the wrong ones, but I think this is correct, so let's give this a listen to. So this is now Ryan's track with my vocals and my harmonies sung on top of it.
Going? Why are you walking so slow? I got places to be, I got people to see. That's what's going on, that's what's going on. You got no hurry now, you got no worries now. You're stuck in my path. Yeah, I got places to go, I got people to know. And you're blocking the flow. Slow walker, you are abnormal. Hey, sleepyhead, crawling along now. Korean drama with your electric fan. You've got no plan, you're shuffling along, just shuffling along. Oh, Mr. Slow Walker, you're a path blocker and a brain stuffer. You're a speed anchor, an oil tanker, and another word that rhymes to think of. Slow walker, you are awful. Walking around after sundown, you have become a zombie. Zombie, just like the other zombies. The only word that rhymes with zombie is Abercrombie. That's a fashion brand for zombies.
Great. Sounds really cool. Yeah, so the songs come together fairly well. There's still one more thing to do though. So now Slow Walker is a song that's living inside of my computer. Of course, I could stay there forever and I don't need to let anybody else hear it, but of course you do want to get it out in the world. There's a couple of things still left to do. You have to mix and master it. And mixing is, of course, making sure that all the parts fit together quite well. Mastering is sort of getting it to be the right volume and have the right tonal quality so that it meshes with any of the other songs that are out there. If your song is playing after somebody else's song on the radio, the volume has to be at a very similar level so people don't have to run to the stereo and turn the volume up or turn the volume down to adjust it to, what the comfortable range should be. So mastering will kind of make sure that it fits in with all the other songs. And if you, on your album, of course, you want song number 1 and song number 2 to flow together quite naturally in terms of what they sound like. So my good friend Blake Stetson out here in Singapore, he's excellent at mastering songs. So I said, hey Blake, can you help me out? And he said, yeah, sure, I can do that for you, buddy. So sure enough, I sent him my song and he sent me back his mixed and mastered song. And he said, it's kind of missing something. I think it needs a little bit of keyboard in there. And, I've come up with something. Tell me what you think. Only if you like it. And I gave it a listen and I'm like, wow, that's a very bright, chirpy keyboard sound. sounds a little bit dated, a bit cheesy, but you know, then again, this is kind of a cheesy song. I didn't exactly like it at first, but gave it a couple of more listens and it kind of grew on me. And I said, well, yeah, you know, something like that is badly needed. Not badly needed, but something like that really spices up a song a little bit, gives it that extra push. But I don't know, I mean, can we make it sound a little bit more sort of, give some feedback in there, make it a little gnarly? So he sent me back something else, and I said, how about making it a little bit more in this direction? And he sent me that back, and I said, oh no man, let's just forget it, go back to the first one. The first one sounded the best anyway. So we ended up going with that first piece that he sent, which was amazing. And so thanks to Blake for mastering my song, thanks to Ryan for putting the backing tracks together, and I guess thanks for Nepal for really getting this whole ball rolling, really. We've got another new song in the world. I've got a little documentary to explain how it got written. None of my other songs am I able to do something like this, so this is kind of cool to at least do it once. So anyway, that kind of wraps up the thing. Oh yeah, we still got one more thing to look at. That's the final video for the song and the finished mixed and mastered song that you hadn't heard yet. So let's roll that in a minute. And first of all, I want to say just thank you for your time, patience, and lasting as long as you did. I'm glad someone's watching, and that person is you. So, all right, have a great day and enjoy Slow Walker.
So slow, I got places to be, I got people to see. That's what's going on, that's what's going on. You got no hurry now, you got no worries now. You're stuck in my path. Yeah, I got places to go, I got people to know, and you're blocking the flow, 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 flow. Uh-oh, slow walker, you are abnormal. Hey, sleepyhead, crawling along now, Korean drama with your electric fan. You got no plan, you're shuffling along, just a shuffling along. Oh, Mr. Slow Walker, you're a path blocker and a brain stopper. You're a speed anchor, an oil tanker, and another word that rhymes with anchor. Uh-oh, slow walker, you are so awful. Walking around after sundown, you have become a zombie. Zombie, zombie, just like the other zombies. The only word that rhymes with zombie is Abercrombie. That's a fashion brand for zombies. Hey, here he comes, another slow walker. He's only stumbling along, he's found his herd. Everybody's so blue, that's what's going on, that's what's going on. Shoulder to shoulder now, army and boulders now, they're boxing me in. I've taken a stroll into a black hole, that's how they roll, 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 roll. Uh-oh, slow walker, you are abnormal. Oh, slow walker, you are so awful.
It's kind of like. Na na na, na 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 na. Na 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 na.
That sounds okay.
Na 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 na